Hi guys, welcome back to the Drive Life channel. In today's video you join me on my way home from work on my wonderful commute through the heart of Wales, I suppose, or towards the English border in Wales. So yeah, fantastic scenery. But in today's video we're going to be talking about how the Volvo S80 and V70 P3 generation cars and sort of Volvo in general are perhaps the only cars you ever need. That's provided obviously you spec the right engine, spec and everything like that, which we'll obviously talk about now. So this here, or this car that I'm driving now, this is my 2009 S80 D5. As I'm sure a lot of you know, it's the 205 brake horsepower version with the Polestar map, so it's running around 240 horsepower. From its 5-cylinder diesel twin turbo lump, and I've had this car for around, well, January 2020 I had it, so we're coming up nearly 2 years, and honestly it's been the best car that I've ever owned. I've had MX-5 convertibles, I've had BMW hatchbacks, I've had all sorts of cars, I've driven lots of different cars as well, everything from Ferrari 360 to McLaren 720S to the 1930s Alfa Romeo, and this car is genuinely one of the best all-round cars you could ever wish for, and the V70 even more so, because you've obviously got that extra specification with the extra boot space in the back. Now I drive 30 miles to work and 30 miles back from work every day. Unfortunately, because of the types of road, it takes me about 35 minutes because I don't see anyone else on the roads, and they're perfectly lovely, beautifully paved, because we're in Wales, and yeah, just a good bit of fun. And there's also a bit of a section that we're coming up to shortly that is great fun, and what I'll do is I'll just shut up and stop talking and get to it and have some fun hooning through it. But what that sort of taught me is you don't need a ridiculously fast car. You don't need a BMW M140i, for example, because when can you use any of that power? 240 brake, this seems to have all the power I need on these roads, with no trouble overtaking stuff. I've never sort of needed more power, and what's nice is I can really put my foot down, go through 2 or 3 gears and not be at total license losing speeds. I mean, this thing will go well into the hundreds quite happily. It really doesn't slow down over sort of 120, it just keeps pulling. Obviously I only found that out on the Autobahn, but it's because of that you never find yourself feeling frustrated. You can if you're feeling crazy, you can just put your foot down and get going and not do anything ridiculous, not kill yourself, and yeah, just is a nice fun car to drive. Also, a lot of people don't expect this car to have the performance it does, and I'll sort of demonstrate that now, because there's nothing more satisfying than chucking a sort of a 2-ton Swedish barge round some hairpin bends, which we're coming up to now. So I'm going to shut up and have a bit of fun, and I'll let you guys listen in, because that is one of the things about this car, is the soundtrack. Just going into the sun, which is a little unhelpful. There's something just about getting a corner right in this car, or a car that weighs this much. It's just a case of getting the weight right and applying the power at the right part of the corner, and you can really carry some speed, as you can see here. Probably not as much speed as that about 911 there, but yeah, I mean, I'm doing the speed limit through some pretty sharp bends. So yeah, that there is an example of how this car can be fun, because it is great fun, especially once you really start to get to know it. You can feel the way that the car moves through the bends. You know when to put your foot down through the corners. I mean, this gearbox, it's a 6-speed 8-in transmission, not designed for speed, designed more for comfort. It's a lovely smooth box, but you might have heard it there, it got a little bit confused, and you learn to drive to that. You learn to sort of how to sort of calibrate your driving to the gearbox. So what I was doing there is, before I needed the torque out of the bend, I was just touching the accelerator and you could almost hear the gears drop ready, and it's just, yeah, really satisfying. And obviously I could have put it in manual mode as well. I don't tend to do that because it doesn't change. I mean, when you drive a manual car, you're used to instant changes. This isn't an instant change, so that's one of the reasons I don't tend to do that. But now I've had my fun. We're on some long, sweepy, boring roads that have got lots of pull-ins and stuff. Not something you particularly want to charge down, or particularly need to charge down, because you can quite happily sit at 60 miles an hour. Obviously not here, as we go into the 40 zone. My washer fluid comes up now every time I pull a G or something, because it's nearly empty, so I need to fill that up. But yeah, it's this comfortable cruiser. It's a Jekyll and Hyde car in the fact that you can really now just sit back, or sit the cruise control at 38 through this 40 here, and you just have the most lovely, serene environment. You can put music on, you've got heated seats, cruise control, you've got the aircon. It's just lovely. You can sit back into these seats and just waft your way home, nice and isolated from the outside as well. And that's again one of the things I love about this car, is that you've got that sportiness where you can just chuck it through a couple of bends. And I wasn't going particularly fast through those bends. I could have carried more speed, but obviously I'm not going to speed if I don't have to. And yeah, this sort of driving as well, you can just roll on the power and let the car do the work, come through these bends nice and smoothly, and it is just a really nice car. It is lovely to drive, and the V70s are just the same. V60s I find a little bit more nimble, which is good fun. I think if you're perhaps not less skilled, but less au fait with driving bigger cars, that might be less of a departure for some people to come in something like this, because this isn't designed for sportiness. This isn't designed to be particularly fun, but because of that almost makes it fun in my eyes. I think it's better to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow, because you can't drive a fast car fast, which is the frustration which I think loads of people feel. And for me, the type of driving that I do everything from this stuff on the daily basis to, I go down to London quite a bit with work. I go to Scotland next month a couple of times, and I have no concerns about sitting in this car for 7 hours comfortably cruising up the motorway, or on an A road or even B roads, and it just can munch miles. I'm actually quite looking forward to it. It's a car that you look forward to getting into and having a long journey in. Quite easily do down to London and back in a day. I've done that many times, and it's just really fantastic. It's one of those cars that you can quite easily spend 12 hours in. Yes, you might be a bit tired afterwards, because 12 hours driving is a long time, but it is just so easy and so comfortable. These seats are just so yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if that, no, it's not too bad. I've got the sun setting behind me, and it's bouncing off the hills either side, and I was just wondering whether it was hitting the mirror and blowing out the camera, but unfortunately not. So yeah, what else is there to say? I think the V70 is more practical, obviously, because you've got bigger boots. as a sort of an executive car. I actually had a compliment on this car, which is one of the first compliments I've had sort of from a stranger just on the appearance of it. I went to my local chip shop at work and they asked me what it was. They hadn't ever seen a Volvo saloon like this, so yeah, they were very impressed and thought it looked very nice. And they actually thought it was a sort of new car, but it obviously isn't. So I thought that was either they know nothing about cars, or perhaps the S80 is just a good looking car, which could be both, couldn't it? So, but yeah, so I'll probably end the video there. We're just about 15-20 minutes away from home, so I'll yeah, call it a day there, put the music on, relax. Mrs. DL's at work tonight, so I'll sit down with a drink and cook some dinner and have a lovely evening. Make sure she's got dinner when she gets back. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on your car, whether it is the car that does everything, whether you feel the need to get a little toy, weekend toy, perhaps an MX-5 or a Porsche or something like that, just to really tickle your driving itch. But like I said, for me, I think this is the car that will do it all. And if I won £1 million tomorrow, I would still keep this car and I would still daily drive this car, because no other modern car that I've driven compares to the comfort and ease of use of this. And yeah, it's just, what more can I say? I think the car itself, and it's one of those things that you guys either know or you don't. If for those that know and for those that have these cars and feel this way, then you're more than content with it, and that's, yeah, sort of, it's quite nice to find that in a car. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you